Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another pair of replays in stock tanks. Now, I should clarify at this point, when I show stock tank replays, that doesn't necessarily mean the tank is completely stock, i.e. entirely unupgraded, but it does mean that the only upgrades I'm using on the machine are upgraded modules that I already had unlocked from previous tanks. Sometimes that's previous tanks in the same line, sometimes I have modules unlocked because I have gone down a different line of a tech line of the same nation. So, the first game of today's replay is going to be in this machine, the M36 Jackson, or the Slugger as it used to be called. Now, you'll notice with a lot of the stock games I show you, not all, but a lot of them, they are top tier, because often to get even a vaguely respectable game, you need something to work with, you need something in your favour. And if you don't have a fully upgraded tank, and if you're not working with a 100% crew, and neither of these replays have a 100% crew either, and neither of these replays are fully upgraded, obviously, then, you know, you're going to be at a distinct disadvantage compared to your peers. And so you're going to need some sort of advantage in order to do respectably well. So, taking the Jackson, for example, I'm pretty sure I have the top engine unlocked on this, and I think it carries over from the Wolverine, if I remember correctly. I'm using the stock turret. It's pretty easy to see that because the upgraded turret on the Jackson has a cover over the top of it. This does not. This is completely open topped. And I'm using the M1A2 76mm gun from the Wolverine, so this is not a 90mm gun, which is why you'll notice I have a respectable stash of ammunition. We are here on Prokhorovka, and it's a standard game. It's a tier 6 game, so the matchmaking is fairly nice. As I said, you know, you need something to work with, and so often you'll find in these stock tank games that I am top tier. Not always, though. I showed a stock Carnarvon game a little while ago that was a tier 10 game. Tier 8 heavy, tier 10 game, and we managed to get top XP in that, which was a little depressing, actually, but there we go. So, just trying to find some shots, and you know, if anyone asks what's the Jackson, well, the Jackson is KV-1. The Jackson's not a KV-1. The Jackson is the other tier 6 American turreted tank destroyer, i.e. the one that's not the Hellcat. So the American tank destroyers are generally split into two lines, and broadly speaking, one is considered the turreted line and one the non-turreted line. The non-turreted line tends to get better guns, and the turreted line tends to get, surprise surprise, a turret. But here at tier 6, and the same at tier 5, that distinction hasn't really been made, as both have turrets, and at tier 5 and 6 the actual distinction is that the non-turreted line, on which this is, tends to have better armour, but be less mobile, and the turreted line tends to be more mobile, but with absolutely no armour. Sorry. The non-turreted one is the less mobile one with better armour. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, a couple of KV-1s over here, or something like that. And so I'm just taking long-range shots at them. I mean, although you have a turret on this machine, you should not get into the mindset that you're playing a medium tank. You really, really, really are not playing a medium tank. Sorry, that's just my antivirus software. Go away, no one likes you. You really, really, really are not playing a medium tank. You are definitely playing a tank destroyer. How do you know that? Well, your turret traverse is garbage. Now, these two TOGs, are they platooned? Of course they are. Lots of people have TOGs since the Togtober mission. These two guys are not playing especially well. That shot missed. You know, they were just sitting out in the open, which of course means that people are able to pump shots into them because they have garbage camo and lots of health, and just treat them as XP pinatas. That's not really how you play a TOG, but if I'm honest, this is not a particularly good map for a TOG, and I kept my first kill with that ELC AMX. But nonetheless, whatever. So, currently the scoreline is 6 kills to 6. Chaffee's saying he's lost his engine. That Chaffee does very well in this game. I think he picked up quite a lot of spotting damage. Much as that ARL because he is taking fire. KV-85 there. Now, the KV-85, in common with a lot of mid-tier Russian machines, has a garbage view range. And so I'm fairly confident I can take shots at him without too much to worry about. Panzer Soufflé, one shot in, and this guy's just going to be vaporized. There we go. He is down. And the scoreline is 8-7. Churchill Mark 7. Now, he's a much tougher proposition. Realistically, in order to damage him, I need to shoot him in the tracks. The front of the tracks on the Churchill 7, and just a replay bug, by the way, that the outline isn't turning up. The frontal, oh, there's one that penetrated. The frontal tracks, the front of the tracks on the Churchill 7 have a mudguard in front of them, essentially. And that is very, very thinly armoured. But behind that, there is still hull, so you will still do HP damage if you successfully manage to put shots through that section of the tank. So that's how you kill a Churchill 7 from the front. Same is true of the Black Prince. Perhaps I could have switched over to APCR ammo, which has just over 170 pen, to try and nail him, but I didn't really see the point. It wasn't a reliable penetration anyway. Why would I bother? And the guy died in the end. And you can see that despite the fact that I carried a reasonable stock of ammunition, I'm down to 14 rounds of armor-piercing ammo, just because of the high rate of fire. And as I mentioned, this is not a 100% crew. This is 90-something, maybe even 80-something. And the FV is down, which is good. That's a dangerous, dangerous machine. The Hellcat just nailed our Chaffee. Pay attention to Hellcats. They're going to be problematic. Are they platoon? No, they're not. And we know there's a TOG out there, and this is really, as I said, not the perfect map for a TOG. So I'm just waiting for other people to go in front of me, because at the end of the day I am a tank destroyer. While I have better armour than a Hellcat, frankly so does a piece of papier-mâché. My armour is not great, and the armour on the Jackson will save you, but it's not the sort of thing that you want to rely upon if you don't have to. T-40, in goes a shot, and this guy's probably just going to get vaporised in a hail of gunfire. And I pick up the last 1 HP off of him to get the kill. TOG is moving up, but I need to move forward in order to get a shot on the fellow, and so I'm going to do just that. We're winning this game 12 kills to 8, so it looks like this game should be in the bag. Hellcat spotted. Alas, he gets behind that rock. TOG is down. Perhaps I'd have been better off shooting the TOG, but I kind of wanted that Hellcat to die. That Hellcat has now ceased to be, and just the last Hellcat on the enemy team. Now, in order to win this, that Hellcat would have to get a Kolobanov's medal, but oh, I just found him. Or rather, he just found me. I, alas, have not found him yet. There he is, though. We take a speculative shot, and I'm trying to make sure there's some terrain between myself and him so that I don't die. And the VK off to my left gets a shot into him. So, I've loaded high explosive ammo in an effort to do more damage to him if I get the opportunity to shoot him again. He's backed off down the other side of that ramp at B6, B7. And I really can't be bothered to chase a Hellcat around the map all day. That's going to get very old very quickly, and is the sort of thing that could actually cost us this game. So instead, I'm going to sit in the cap circle like a dirty, dirty loser point farmer. I was wondering where I was going with that sentence for a moment. And I'm asking other people to try and do the same, because a Hellcat really, this is a great sort of map for a Hellcat. That VK3001H up there is a one-shot, is now dead. So that leaves myself, our artillery, a Panzer IV, who is H0, being singularly unhelpful, and a TOG, who does have most of his health left, but if the Hellcat driver is competent, and he's on 3 kills, I have no reason to believe he's not competent, he could pick a TOG apart from a distance, making good use of camo on this map. So I'm sitting still. Why am I sitting still? Because A, I have a turret, so I don't need to move my tank to get my gun on target, and B, because I have a camo net. And if oh, there you go, you see, the TOG is driving across the open and being picked apart by the Hellcat, who I think is probably at about F6. So, you know, this is by no means a guaranteed victory. But yeah, I'm sitting in the open because I have, there he is, a camo net. I'm going to react to this in a minute. I was typing in chat, that was a mistake, bad play. Because I have a camo net, there's the Hellcat. One shot into him, alas, that damages his tracks. Another shot into him, that one does penetrate. Oh, HE ammo lets me down, I should have just loaded AP. Oh, there we go. The Hellcat actually manages to kill me. And actually, kills me because I loaded high explosive ammo to take him out. I should have kept with armor piercing ammo, so there's a lesson in there. Sometimes loading HE is a good idea, and sometimes it can bite you on the bum. But anyway, Tog was able to finish the Hellcat off, managed to secure the win there. Have a look at the post-battle results. When you look at the results of that enemy Hellcat driver, do bear in mind that a good 1,000 of the damage that he did was done right at the end, when the outcome of the game was already, if not decided, the game was very badly weighted against him. So any damage that he did, take off 1,000 and think to yourself, is that damage result viable for a Hellcat? Now, at the time that I say this, I can't actually remember how much damage he did. I think he did alright overall, but that last 1,000 damage he did was kind of wasted. It's one of the ways in which people tend to pad some of their stats, like WN8, but it doesn't do anything for their win rate because you're being too passive and you're doing damage that is not helping your team to win. Now, he could have pulled that game out, and actually he came remarkably close, but he didn't. So, as I say, just bear that in mind, have a look at the post-game results, and then we'll jump into game number 2. Here we are with game number 2, and as you can see, we've moved up a couple of tiers and skipped across nations. We've gone from the Hellcat, not the Hellcat, the Jackson tier 6 American tank destroyer to the tier 8 German heavy tank, the Tiger II. Still not fully upgraded. So again, I think I might have the top engine unlocked on this from a different tank, I can't quite remember, but stock suspension, you can see I'm using the stock Krupp turret. As for guns, I'm using the 105 L56 gun, is it called? That's not the stock gun, that's the short 105mm gun from the VK4502P Aust A, the other tier 8 German heavy tank, which I have fully unlocked. Now, even once you've unlocked this gun, you might decide to use the other one on the Tiger II. The short 105 is really for the VK, it gets a better reload on that tank. On this tank, you get better alpha damage, but you sacrifice reload speed, accuracy, the penetration is basically the same. So, I can't remember what the relative aim times of the two guns are, so you may actually still find that you want to use the 88mm gun. But I've decided to use the 105 as I had it unlocked. Anyway, and often you find that as long as the gun isn't too derpy, better alpha damage tends to be a little bit better for you. So this is an assault game on Karelia. I'm on the right hand side, which is my preferred side, and hopefully we're going to be able to batter the enemy into submission and win this game. Again, this is my Tiger crew, so my crew is not terrible. They've got 6th Sense, for example, and they're working on their second crew skill, but they are not actually at 100% when I play this game. It'll be 90-something. So, there's a Lerva. I get spotted, but I should have aimed a little bit lower and tried to put that into his lower plate. I was more trying to aim at centre of mass with that, because the accuracy on this gun is not fantastic. Now, the stock turret on the VK and the Tiger II basically share turrets, both the stock turret and the fully upgraded one. And the stock turret on both tanks is pretty bad. You know, it gets reliably penetrated by the Russian 122mm guns, which is not particularly good. That wasn't the best shot, but I took it anyway and bounced on the Lerva. So, going hull down with the stock turret is not actually a particularly good idea, alas. But there we go. Anyway, So far I've been relatively unsuccessful. And we've lost 2 tanks, one of which has been tier 8, and I'm getting shot in the bum by presumably a light tank that's rushed its way across the map. Felt like a small shot, so maybe like it's the AMX-12T with a 75mm gun, but it could be one of the low tier medium tanks as well. E25 up there, let my aiming circle close in, and a nice hit on him. And the Super Pershing finishes that fellow off. So I'm just side scraping out around this corner, which is not the, it's not an amazing idea in the Tiger II when it's stock because your turret is so bad, but it's not a terrible idea either. We managed to get a shot into the enemy Tiger II, straight through the lower plate, and he doesn't put anything into me in return. So we're just going to try it again, and the enemy Tiger II does not even appear to be looking at me initially, which is a mistake on his part, but I'm expecting to take damage here. Instead, the enemy Tiger II just takes out my tracks. And he's now a one-shot kill. Comet pulls out, again, lower plate. And there we go. And you can see that although this gun is not the most accurate gun in the world, you can still pull off, aiming for weak spots at respectable range. So that was sort of a mid-ish range engagement. The sort of range where it wasn't point blank, but was still capable of aiming for weak spots, and that's, you can do that. And there we go. Tracks eat a shot from a Panther and another shot there from a VK. However, we do take some damage from something and polish off the 3001p. And we're winning this 9 kills to 5. T-37's gone in to do something about the Lerva. I have a shot on the AMX. Take a nice chunk of health off him. And reload my gun. So if I can kill the AMX, then I can go in and do something about the Lerva, but I would quite like to take out the AMX first, although he's pulled back. There's also someone over to my right-hand side, that Panther, who is going to be irritating, but, I'm just thinking about what to do right now. And Type 58 appears to have pulled out. Nope. AMX. Pull out a little bit further, little AMX. I'm not going to hurt you. Come on. Come on, you sucker. Ugh. Oh, I've been spotted. Oh, no. Whatever shall I do? Nope, someone else gets the AMX. Fine. I decide to have a look around the right-hand side and see if I can do something about this internally irritating Panther. He's not looking in my direction. And if I'd taken my shot earlier, I could have landed that. If I'd had a better crew, I'd have aimed faster, so I might have got the kill. But, I didn't. Whatever. Lerva now. Straight through his upper front plate, which was angled down, so that was an easy penetration. And ram him to death. Now, I think the Lerva's actually heavier than me, and he did a fair amount of damage to me in the process, but screw it. It was a kill, I didn't have to wait for the reload, and it was funnier. That just leaves the enemy STA-1 remaining, who is just up here on the left-hand side. And I'm going to see if I can do something about him. Someone puts a shot into him, possibly our Super Pershing. I put one in, that just leaves him on 308 health. Well, less than that. I was going to say he should be a one-shot kill now for me. He's definitely a one-shot kill for me now. And good night, sweet prince, except the Super Pershing gets there first and finishes the guy off. So there we go, that was the game. That ended up being second class mastery and a steel wall, which wasn't too shabby. And yeah, not a absolutely jaw-dropping game, and again we were top tier, but a respectable game with a tank that's not fully upgraded. Hence I showed it to you. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that pair of replays. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. And I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.